Now let's go back to the old world. I'll invite our treasurer, the true global Indian, that we all honored on 29 January as well, Ms. Ganeriwala. Sorry. Come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Good evening. Wow, what a gathering. And I know you've heard this many times, Madam Ambassador, but let me say it one more time on behalf of all the Indian community in the Richmond metro area. For everyone who's here and for those people who couldn't make it tonight, we welcome you. Today is an auspicious day for us. Yesterday, when you dedicated the VCU's Chair of Democracy, you talked about how Indians talk in terms of auspicious day. Well, today is our auspicious day, that we are graced by your presence. I think in our memories, most of our memories, this is the first Indian ambassador who's come to Richmond on your very first maiden trip, and we're graced by your presence. And I hope this is not your only trip, that there will be many more to come. In yesterday's speech, I would just reflect on a few of the comments you made that really struck with us and really, touched us. You talked about the new relationship in the current decade between the U.S. and India. You talked about not only is this relationship based on economic ties or cultural, exchange, trade relationships, security, but it's also one of the founding pillars or one of the main pillars of this growing relationship and a very strategic partnership between two countries is the people-to-people connection. And as you observed, part of that people-to-people connection is really the Indian diaspora on this side of the ocean here in America, connected to people, our mother country in India. Now, not many people know the Indian diaspora. People now look at us and think of like, oh, we are a big dominant force, highly educated with high household incomes. But that wasn't our beginning in this country. Back in the 1700s, the Indians came as indentured servants. Not many people know about that, but that's what first brought us here. And then the second wave of Indians in the early 20th century, more from the northwest part of India, came as laborers to work on the farms. And it's only in the 21st century and the latter part of the 20th century, a third wave of Indians started coming to this country when the United States government liberalized the quota system and more student visas were being issued. Now, why, as Indians, we find this country so appealing to us? And as you observed yesterday, it's our shared values of democracy. We grew up in a mother country where democracy, we saw that we were freed from the British and formed a very democratic society. It's a freedom. We aspire individual freedom, global peace. We are very peacefully loving people. And this country offered us at that time the opportunities for education and economic prosperity. But it's really our cultural values that we learned in our mother country, growing up in our culture, that makes us so resilient and make us work hard and form ourselves and become a dominant force that we are today. So we all know that we owe a lot to our mother country and our culture that we grew up in. Now, going back to a comment that was made earlier, this Indian diaspora is deep and it's spread. It has spread its sphere of influence all over the country in every sector. You see people are high professionals, doctors, in politics, entrepreneurs. And so because of our sphere of reach now, we can influence influence policy making. We can influence politics in this country. There are two governors of states here of Indian descent, Governor Jindal of Louisiana, Governor Haley of South Carolina. There are many representatives to state legislators and United States Congress of Indian origin. There are many officials at federal level and state level of Indian origin. So we've kind of infiltrated or assimilated ourselves in every aspect of the society. So as this relationship between India and US grows, and in today's economy, where it's a global economy and a very interdependent economy, so there is no one superpower anymore, we hope that you, in your role in the embassy here, will use us. Will use because we are aspiring to help and make a difference in any way we can in any issues or policy issues, public policy issues come up between two countries. I can only just see that this relationship will prosper and, for benefit of both countries. And hopefully we all will have a role to play in that. Now, it is my distinct privilege and honor to introduce our ambassador, Mrs. Ganeriwala Rao. She assumed her responsibilities as Ambassador of India to the United States in September 2011. Now, as I was thinking what I would say about you, just in the brief time that I've gotten to know you, I know you're a highly talented, multi-talented individual and a very accomplished individual. Behind that very genteel and calm persona, I think is a fierce determination to accomplish whatever you set out to do. Ambassador Rao was born in a military family. Her father served in the Indian Army, so public service was kind of ingrained in her, I believe. Her sister is also in the Indian Navy. As being part of the military family, she did her schooling in many different cities. It was Pune, Bangalore, Kannur, Maharashtra. She got her bachelor's degree in English literature from Bangalore, University of Bangalore, and MA in English from Ganeriwala University in Maharashtra. But her bio is also littered with many firsts. She's a woman who's been first in many, many things. It just sends chill down my spine because I was just reading about it. In 1973, after getting her master's degree, she appeared for the Foreign Service exam and was topped. She was the very first, she was the highest achiever nationally in that exam. After that, in 1973, she joined Indian Foreign Service. Her career spans over 3 decades of diplomatic service in many different countries. It took her to many different world capitals, Moscow, Beijing, I'm probably forgetting a few more, Sri Lanka, Washington, of course, how could I forget? She was the first Indian ambassador to China, first Indian woman ambassador to China in the late 90s. From 2006 to 2009. Her other ambassadorial assignments have included into Peru, Bolivia, and Sri Lanka, where again she was the first woman High Commissioner.